Welcome back to Blockchain Pill. My name is Alex and we're back with another video, and it's been a while since we made the last video, so we have a lot of catching up to do. I want to start the video with a shout out to Jerry Banfield, who actually just a couple of days ago, he reached out to me telling me that, Alex, it's been 30 days with no video. Are you okay? What's happening? The main reason for that is that the market has really not been moving in the direction that most of us wish it would move. And, when we signed up for this bull run, I'm sure that most of us signed up for a way different thing. The way the market is right now really reminds me of the depths of the bear market in 2023 and, maybe late 2022, when all of us were super excited that we finally caught the bottom and we're expecting, 10x, 50x, and everybody was supposed to get rich. And we really didn't see much of that, at least this far. And in my experience with bull runs, bear markets, which everybody right now thinks we are in one, bear markets do not start when everybody's feeling down and everybody's feeling anger and despair and looking at the charts thinking that, maybe I should have sold, my token when it was at the peak. Maybe I should have sold, ETH when ETH was at $4,000. Maybe I should have sold my Elrond, eGold, when it was sitting at like $75, and the list goes on and on and on, because every single token is doing terrible. This has been one of the, least exciting bull runs as far as bull runs go for basically all of the tokens, besides just a select few, like maybe if we look at the Solana chart, which arguably has been one of the best performing tokens and blockchains, and for a good reason. The whole meme coin mania happened on Solana, so of course it had a tremendous run. Let's look at the chart for Sol. But even Sol is looking pretty bad right now. It's only been a few months since the Trump token was launched, and Solana, from the peak of $300 is now sitting at a $126, which is a massive drop. Like, if you look at it, what the hell is going on with crypto? Where is this bull run that everybody has been expecting? And that is a good question to ask, because this really did not feel like a bull run, which is the reason why I'm 95% sure that we are going to see an actual bull run with euphoria and with people calling for like the golden bull that's going to make all of us rich, because that is really when bear markets begin, and not when most tokens are down 70 to 80% from the tops. A lot of people inside the ICP ecosystem are upset, and it's understandable. The price of ICP is now sitting at $5.15. And I remember it was around here, it was around November, when I made a tweet just as ICP was ready to leave the single digit numbers and go into the like 2 digits. And everybody agreed with it back then. It had like 200 likes to it. And I was saying, say goodbye to single-digit ICP. We're never going to see ICP below 2 digits again. And for a few weeks, I was right. For a few weeks in December, we went as high as $15. And now we're down again, which is crazy. So I can really understand the frustration of everybody who is inside the ICP ecosystem. And a few days ago, or sometime last week, somebody was saying, why are we fighting so much inside the ICP ecosystem? Why are we not more, friendly with one another and, trying to be friends like other ecosystems? And then I thought, we actually see that we are fighting inside the ICP ecosystem because this is where we spend most of our time, But I am 100% sure that people in every single crypto ecosystem are fighting right now. Let's just have a look at ICP and then compare it to some other tokens and just see how they look. So for better or for worse, ICP is still sitting at around a 2x from the bear market lows. Not the best, but not the worst either. There are tokens like Elrond that actually broke down from the bear market lows. So imagine being a guy who bought Elrond, right? You bought Elrond during 2021. You managed to sell the top. Let's say that you actually sold at around $500, here at the top. You're happy. You've been waiting the entire bear market, in USDT. You're holding your dollars. And then by the time Elrond got to the bear market low, you decide to actually buy it. And you bought the exact bottom of Elrond, and you're feeling pretty good. You're like, you know what? I'm actually pretty smart. I managed to do this. And now during a bull run, Elrond breaks under the bear market lows that you bought in. That would be terrible. Imagine how they are fighting inside the Elrond ecosystem. If we are fighting inside the ICP ecosystem, and the list goes on and on, like every single coin besides, Bitcoin, Solana, and a few of the memes, everything is looking terrible. Let's look at Polkadot. Polkadot is now sitting around the bear market lows. It's terrible. If it breaks down below this, it could be pretty bad. Many of them are looking similarly. Besides Solana. Look, Solana looks good. It was obviously the leader of this bull run with the entire meme coin casino happening on Solana. So it's looking good. For the people who bought it at 20 bucks, which I don't think is the majority of people, For most people, even Solana is bad, because I would imagine people bought Solana at 200 bucks, 300 bucks here with, Trump launching and stuff like that, and they're down like 70%. In a bull run, it's absolutely crazy. And I think there is a 5% chance maybe that, the bull run is over, but I lean towards 95% that we are going to see an explosive growth for crypto in the next months. Now, a lot of people lost their faith in crypto. Many people are like quitting crypto and thinking that, this was a waste of time, this was a waste of money, and they're going to quit it. And most people are going to miss this explosive move, and everybody's going to be euphoric. And that is when the bear markets start. The thing that I want to point out is that, if you're holding ICP and ICP is, the biggest of your holdings, or you're only holding ICP, you may look at the price and feel like, everything else is growing, everything else is moving, up. When in fact it's not. Most cryptos have done, pretty bad over the past couple of years. So we're still looking pretty well. I would start to get worried if we actually went down to the bear market lows. That's where I would start to, pay attention. But even if we go down, most of the move down is already over. So not even that would be like the worst thing. So we're down from the top 75%, which I think this is it. If we go down another 10%, I don't think that's a really, really big problem. Like, most of the pain is behind us. I don't think we are going to see the bear market lows ever. One of the things that keeps me most bullish about ICP is this tweet from Dom from February 6th. And he says that the ICP situation right now, he's happy to say that unlocks are almost done. Dfinity last fundraised off-market in 2018 rounds, and all contributors are vested. So what he's saying here is that 45 out of 48 unlocks are done, which is great news. And actually some time passed from his tweet, and we are actually one round of unlocks away. And after this happens, basically all the ICP tokens are going to be in circulation, which is absolutely incredibly bullish. Like, this is one of the reasons why people were so sold on the meme coin super cycle, because the idea of meme coins was that all of the supply is on the market. The problem with most projects right now is that they launch with 10% of the tokens in circulation, and then there is another 90% of tokens waiting to be unlocked to be dumped on the market. And ICP right now is one unlock away, which is like 8 days away from being fully in circulation. And there is, right now in crypto, there is no other token, no other project can say that they are in the same boat as ICP right now. So this is, if only this would be extremely bullish for the Internet Computer Protocol. But it's not only this, like, there are a lot of things going on for ICP, and some of them we are gonna cover in this video. There is a really cool project. It's leveraging CKBTC to build something that has never been built before and that was not possible to be built before. So a couple of years ago, for those of you who were around, you remember that there was this new kind of token called runes, which were like meme tokens built on top of Bitcoin. Now, I remember talking to my brother and to a couple of my friends that, maybe we should start paying attention to those runes. It's something new that is, coming up, and usually the new things, do pretty well. However, until I managed to actually look into it, the trend vanished. Like, runes were around for like a couple of months, and then they disappeared, never to be seen again, until recently when Odin.fun launched. Now, Odin.fun, you can think about it as a pump fun but for Rune tokens. And by leveraging ICP's chain fusion technology and integrating with CKBTC, they can actually have lightning fast transactions for a fraction of the price. So you can actually get the Bob.fun experience, but on Bitcoin, which is something that has never been done before. And people don't even know that it is actually the ICP tech that this is built on top of, which I think is great. And some people have been upset that, Odin.fun and Bob.fun don't market the fact that they're using ICP for this to actually be possible. But personally, I don't think that's a problem, because when you send an email, you don't have a disclaimer sent explaining to you the technology of how the email is sent. You don't care about that. You just want to send the email, you click send, the other person actually receives the email, and that is that. So I think this is really interesting, and builders need to focus on actually building stuff that is not possible outside of using the ICP tech. And I think that this is how ICP is gonna be on more people's radar, is by building cool stuff that are not possible anywhere else. So really cool stuff here. They actually had this one, the main token, did actually go on a massive run with really, really big returns. I think this went 20, 30, 100x, something super crazy like that. Let's see, from the bottom here to the top. Massive gain for people who actually managed to catch it. Well, all of us inside the ICP ecosystem, we could have caught it. The way to make money in crypto is to actually front run narratives and to actually get allocated to a narrative before people realize that is going to be the next big thing. And I saw a tweet from Tom Saris, who's a VC, and he's pretty well known inside the ICP ecosystem. And he said a thing. He said that airdrops aren't a growth strategy. They are an expensive way to attract professional dumpers. And, at face value, this is a statement that you can get behind and you can agree to it. If you're going to give free tokens to people, they are going to dump it, which makes sense, and a lot of people inside the ICP community agreed with them. However, there is one blockchain right now called Abstract that is a layer 2 built, using Ethereum technology, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And they are currently doing an airdrop in a way which it encourages people to actually come and build on top of Abstract and encourages people to come there and spend their money there. So this is a good way to actually do it. And I'll cover this in a future podcast with Aaron Bremser and one of his friends. So stay tuned for that. Another cool project that was built leveraging ICP tech is Bob.fun. Now, Bob, when it appeared, this is a token that did 100x in the first day when it was launched. Everybody was going crazy over it. It went from literally nothing, from just a few cents. It went as high as, I believe, $3 when it launched, so almost 100x. And this is actually a project that is really important to the ICP ecosystem, because for the very first time, ICP briefly became deflationary thanks to Bob and to some other projects like Bob. And we can see here the cycle burn rate, which is the gas fees paid on ICP were basically nothing. And you can see the steady growth that cycles have had since Bob appeared. Now, there has been some drama right now with Bob. The developer, I think, went missing and something like that. We're not going to dive into that because I think this is a topic for another video. However, there are people who leverage the ICP tech and build cool stuff. And we need to embrace them, and we need more builders like this. And I think it is during those periods when, the excitement is low and there is not a lot of money to be made, when the pumps are not, as strong as during the days where hype is here. I think that the real builders are actually those who keep building, although the market is not looking favorable. So pay attention to Bob, pay attention to Odin.fun. And what else do we have here? Another project that actually more people should be paying attention to is KongSwap. KongSwap is a new DEX on the Internet Computer Protocol. It's not as new now, it's been around for I believe 1 year, but they keep building, they keep adding cool stuff. And the latest thing that they added is actually a prediction market on ICP. We didn't have that, and a lot of people like prediction markets, and you can actually make any prediction here. We can see, for example, this one, and you can bet whether or not you think it's going to happen or not. So, for example, will the price of ICP be above $6 on April 4th, which is in a couple of days from now? Most people bet that it won't be, meaning that if you bet that the price of ICP will be above $6 in a couple of days from now, there is a lot of money for you to make here. So I really like seeing teams that innovate, that keep building, although the market doesn't look well. And the Kong price actually reacted very well. You know, when they first announced the prediction market, the price pumped crazy. Like, this is a 4x here. Listen, there are good projects in every ecosystem. And it is down to us, the people inside the ecosystem, to find those tokens and then to talk about them and to promote them. We only need a few good projects to break out of the ICP ecosystem. And then a lot of people will pay more attention and the liquidity is going to flow in. And when the entire market will turn around, that is when the people who have stuck around are finally going to make it. Don't be the guy, you know, who gave up on crypto and who gave up at ICP here at the bottom. If you were to have sold at 20 bucks and be like, you know what, I'm giving up on crypto, I don't care about it anymore. Okay, cool. But don't be the person who lose hope here at the bottom. This is exactly how it was at the bear market lows at just $3. When ICP broke $3, I remember it like it was yesterday, people were saying that we are gonna head in a death spiral and that the ICP rewards to the node providers are gonna take us into like, it's gonna go to zero. The sentiment now is very similar to the sentiment back then. People were fighting, people were losing hope. All in all, listen, I'm back here. I'm gonna cover ICP and I'm gonna see what the ICP projects have been up to and what they're building. Thank you very much if you managed to watch it until right now. Let me know in the comment section below if there is anything in particular that you want me to talk about. And yeah, with that, we're done. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.